Hi everyone, I hope you've enjoyed the videos my friend Eileen and I have made regarding the return to school and related self-care tips. And just as a follow-up, as we're back to school now, almost 3 weeks in my own case, we thought it'd be a good idea if myself and Eileen just checked in with one another and shared with you the upshot of all of this.
And
Uh,
Siobhan, I'm mindful, sorry for interrupting there.
okay.
I'm very aware you're a teaching principal. What has it been like for you? As you say, you're nearly 3 weeks into it. How has it been?
Well, Eileen, honestly, I am so glad that we had those sessions on self-care because I did share them with my staff, and also I took it on board myself. So I felt like I put a lot of effort and deliberate planning and preparation into returning to school. And I'm so glad I did because it's been so busy. And it's been busy getting into a new routine. It's always busy when you're teaching full time and then trying to be a leader and a manager and a principal as well. So that has been very busy. And plus just getting the students, supporting the students to get into a new routine, that's all been very busy. So being there for the students, for the teachers, and for yourself.
So supporting all, everybody else. And sometimes what came to me as you were saying that is it me first or me last?
Well, I've been trying to practice what we preached. So I would be going through this in my head and conscious of it in every situation. But there are so many things that have to be done in the daily routine of school that it hasn't always, honestly, it hasn't always been me first. But I have to say one thing that's working really well. So obviously we have a heightened awareness and a heightened focus on well-being at the moment. So one thing I do with my class is we have a well-being check-in and a well-being check-out every day. And I find myself during that time, we do an emotional check-in, we do a physical check-in, we do a spiritual check-in, and we do activities around that to start our day. And what I've begun to do is, as the students are getting involved in it and as I'm leading it, I try to become more conscious and aware of the benefits of it for myself at that time too, if you
And
get what I
Siobhan,
mean.
checking in with the children, say on an emotional well-being. Do you share, or is it just them, or what way does it work? I'm curious about this.
Well, initially, so I to demonstrate, I would begin and lead it. So what it is we say on a scale of 1 to 10, how are we feeling today?
Mhm.
And we would have done a lot of work last year as well about this anyway, about our different emotions and how it's okay to feel different emotions. And if we feel in certain ways, what things can we do to help ourselves feel better or even to stay with that emotion or whatever. But in the initial stages, so I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, now I was very, very clear not to be tens all the time. I didn't feel like 10 anyway. But
Yeah.
there were days when I did actually feel quite good, but I would say, well, today I'm feeling a 7 because when I left the house this morning, I was probably feeling a 9, but then I couldn't find my keys and I got annoyed. I was frustrated. But then I found them, so I'm starting to feel a bit better now. So just to give them a little bit of a story to get them thinking. So I would say it's a learning process. And my hope is that by the end of the year, that the students will be a lot more aware of how they're feeling. And sometimes I'll ask them if they say, well, I'm feeling a 5, whatever they say, 5, 10. I'll say, do you want to tell me something about that? So everybody gets a chance to say how they're feeling. And a lot of the time they'll say no. I say, well, that's fine. But some of them will.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a coaching question that I would sometimes ask. I don't know if it would apply. say somebody said a 5 out of 10, I'd say something like, what can we do to help that to come up to a 6? Or what would make it a 6? And sometimes that's empowering them. It might be, I need to go out and walk in the garden, or some little thing, but it's helping them to identify, okay, well, what do I need? And
Yeah,
if you're asking a question like that, it's nearly like it's outside of themselves, and it's nearly safer to answer.
that's 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 a great idea, I think. But I think a good reflection of how well it's working for some students is during the week there was an incident that made me angry. Something happened, and it was just where I was concerned that maybe I'm not sure the students were some of the students were understanding how serious some of the extra rules we've had to put in place because of COVID-19 were.
Mm.
So one student did something that made me a bit angry, and I said to them, I'm angry. I'm angry when I see that. And I had to start, just considering myself, how would I deal with it? And one of the students who was quite close to me, well, 2 meters away, but close enough, she said, Muncher Siobhan, why don't you take deep breaths? I said,
You know what I'm thinking, Siobhan? The video clips for some of you watching, the 3 videos myself and Siobhan did for you all going back to school, the word modeling came up. Had it in red. And like what you're describing it's modeling.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
have charts in all of our rooms from last year with the whole range of emotions, and then also with some strategies that we came up with from them. So if I'm feeling this, what can I do, or what can I try? And during the week as well, just to show that I've probably gone through the range of emotions, probably more negative than positive in the last week. But there was one day I was feeling very frustrated as well. And I said that to the kids because I found myself going to my desk to get something. And by the time I got there, I'd forgotten. So I said, I think I'm just very forgetful because I'm frustrated. And one of the girls said, why don't you try and do one of those things? And it was what was on the chart. So I went over and I had a look, and one of them was do a little job, like maybe sweep the floor, do some jumping jacks, and another one was take a drink of water. And I said, well, yeah, that works for me. So I went and had a drink of water, and I told them, I said, I'm having a drink of water because I'm frustrated. I need to clear my head. And they were like, that's fine. So, and then I got back to teaching after that.
Yeah. Like Siobhan, this week, as you'll know, I took a few days off for me. I really needed a break. I felt there was just too much going on for me in my area of work. What are you doing for you? I know the work is really, from what you're saying, really all encompassing. But what do you do for you to help you, I suppose, is what I'm thinking of, to help you be the best version of yourself when you're in school?
Well, quite honestly, it's been quite frustrating because it's just been so busy. And I have, like like yourself, I have a very busy life anyway, in school and out of school, but school has completely dominated over the last few weeks. And I can understand why that has to be the case, but it is frustrating because there are other things I'd like to be doing. But having said that, I remember, I don't know, was it you, Eileen, last year or somebody else who said to me, when at one time I said, there just isn't enough hours in the day. And I think you said to me at the time, but everybody has the same number of hours in their day. It's what you choose to do with them. So I suppose I'm an early riser. I get up at 5 and I have a little ritual that I do in the morning just to try and get my own energy levels up. A bit of silence, a bit of reading, a bit of exercise. But one thing I did this week, something new, and I think this is important. It struck me that if you're doing something in terms of self-care and it's not working, then you have to switch and try something new. So I do a little bit of study in the morning as well. And I was at the computer about to start studying, and I like to do that. It's a topic I'm really interested in. but my neck was tense. I feel tension and I feel stress in my neck. That's where my body kind of starts to speak to me. And I knew I felt I was stressed. So, but I thought, no, I'm going to do this. I only have a half an hour now, so I'm going to persevere. And after about another 5 minutes, I thought, that's not working. So I remembered I had a hot water bottle I invested in last Christmas, a lovely big long one. It's like an animal. And I thought, what if I had never done it before, but I thought, what if I fill that with hot water and just place it on my shoulders? And you know what? It was the nicest. It completely relaxed me. And I could feel the stress and the tension begin to leave me. And what I learned from that was, well, that's what I needed at that time. And you've said this to me before, Eileen. You know, you have to ask yourself, what do you
What does your body need? Yeah, what is, yeah.
yeah.
And if you have, I always feel if I have pain in my back or anything like that, is asking myself, what is my body telling me? Because obviously that time, that morning, your body was telling you something. And you had a choice. You could have drilled on, typing away, and probably gone into work and you would have been in bits.
Yeah.
But doing that simple, and it's such a simple thing, because I think a lot of the time we think self-care practices are these, as I've mentioned before, these major big things like going to spa, whatever. But it's listening, and listening to what your body needed that morning. It's lovely.
And I've said it to the teachers at school as well, that what we really need to do is we have to be selfish to a point of making sure that we take these opportunities and reach out and get some self-care for ourselves at times, from ourselves, or just be there for colleagues. So it's been very important to me to ensure that everybody has been taking their breaks and that I get my breaks too. You know, there was one day I had to stay in the class during break time and I thought, okay, that's fine. I haven't had my cup of tea. I got what I needed done. But afterwards, I just thought, no, I still need to get out and clear my head because I'm not going to be effective if I'm going to stay on here. So I managed to switch things up, and we have a brilliant team that we're able to kind of cover for each other and help each other out when needed, because, you know, that's all really, really important in terms of well-being.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think we mentioned it before, Siobhan. The word presilience is coming to me. And this is one of my self-devised words. And I'm sure if you look up the Oxford Dictionary, you won't find it. But we often hear people talking about resilience, which is the ability to bounce back at times of adversity, which a lot of what you're going through at the moment is adversity. It's totally unknown territory. But it's those little practices, like doing those little things, like taking your break, you know, having that little bit of time for yourself in the morning, maybe going out into the yard, you know, doing little things and doing them consistently. That's resilience in my dictionary, my self-devised dictionary.
And I love that word, Eileen. I think it's brilliant. And you'd mentioned that to me before, and it actually hit me during the week. And I was also thinking of when you say there about consistency, I was listening to something where they were talking about mental hygiene and how, and this is the truth, that at school now, we're trying to get into a routine, a regular routine of physical hygiene, the washing the hands and, you know, the sneezing, coughing etiquette. So we're drawing attention to that every day to make it a routine, to make it a habit. And it struck me, somebody said, you know, if you want to lose weight or you want to become healthier in your body, it's not going to happen if you've just eaten well today, but then you let it go for a week.
Like me.
But yet, and like myself too, but yes, we can be more inclined to do that in terms of our mental health and in terms of well-being. We'll try a self-care strategy today and think that that'll be enough to fuel us for the week.
Tick the box, yeah.
But it's not. It's not. It has to be done regularly. It has to be consistent. And, you know, sad to say, I'm still learning all this, Eileen. You'd think I'd know better at this stage, but I'm still learning.
Yeah, but like, even as I said to you, I was away for the few days, and the one thing that I've really realized is that I need more consistency in my self-care rituals and my own mental hygiene, because I'm a great one for starting something for a couple of days and I'm grand now, I'm fine. And then, but it's so, exactly as you said, Siobhan, it's so important to keep it up even when everything's going fine, because that's presilience. That's building yourself up for the things you need it. Yeah.
One very important thing I've realized in the last few weeks as well, Eileen, is, and it's something I need to do, so I've done it, is I have so deliberately and intentionally steered clear of negativity, because there is a lot out there. And there was one thing I really didn't like, was just as it was coming up to the reopening of schools, how there was a lot of negativity towards teaching, or towards the teaching profession even. And it occurred to me that I think most people who talk about teaching in terms of, oh, look, what are they giving out about, or what are they concerned about? Look at their holidays. Those people haven't a clue what teaching is all about. Because like I was saying to you, we teach between the hours that we're at school. Then there's planning in the evening. Then there's planning at the weekends. So teaching is a lot more. Now, the people who do it because they love it. And thankfully they do. They never chose it for the holidays, but the holidays are there for a reason. But I think that negativity, it's unfortunate, because teachers are so important. And these are the people that you're entrusting your children to during the day. And all research is very clear that children will thrive and do best when teachers and parents are working in harmony. So if parents were given out about schools, it's not going to be in your child's best interest then. I think what's more necessary, and we've heard this a lot during lockdown and different times, is to support people, not give out. So I deliberately steer clear of negativity. And when you think about it, the teachers are frontline staff now.
Yeah.
But there isn't the same reaction to teachers as there was towards frontline staff during lockdown. But teachers are putting themselves on the line every day. They're putting their families.
They're frontline now in a different way, because what you're describing about your role, Siobhan, I know even from knowing you, I'm learning more about the role of a teacher and the role of a teaching principal. I didn't know. And I probably was one of the people that said, in my nursing days, oh, look at these ones with all their holidays. I can put my hand up and I can say I probably was one of those, but I have a better understanding of it now,
Yeah. Well, I always say to people, sometimes I'd even get it from within my own family, oh, but you only work half a day. But I'd say, look, listen, everybody has a choice. And if you really wanted to be a teacher, you could have been. So we all choose our professions.
Siobhan, I'm mindful that we've covered a lot today, and I know we could continue because there's so much more we want to talk about, but expecting people to listen to us going on for too long might be too much to expect. So maybe we link up again in a few days and we might do another chat. And for any of you who are watching this, please let us know if you're finding this helpful, and if there's anything that you'd like us to talk about in this. Your feedback, even the last time we did this, your feedback was invaluable. Isn't that right, Siobhan?
Absolutely. And, I think a lot of what I'm experiencing and going through, I'd imagine other teachers are feeling the same. And it's, through sharing our experiences, it's how we kind of gain a deeper understanding and maybe get some more strategies about how to get the most out of our days at school. So that's it, Eileen. We'll sign off there and look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.